All right, beginning the trading session. It's 5 p.m., October 17th on a Wednesday. I am 3 hours past the close. I can't coming in late just because of work. Picking up my buddy at the airport, which is fine. I'm coming in here carrying some short on altcoins. So let's go and see what has happened. Let's go check. Interesting. So I'm going to start by going through my alts. I have one in profit, two around break even, three around break even, four in profit, stopped out of one. Okay, so I'm guessing we're gonna look at the chart. Um, Honestly, price has really surged in the last 3 hours since I came in, which is interesting. And I'm actually down overall from yesterday. So now we're gonna look at Bitcoin, which is continuing to grind higher, just a little bit. It hasn't taken that high. BNB actually interesting. BNB's down, so I guess it worked. I got out of that. So let's just go through and see what's going on. Yo, gold. It's the year of gold, man. New all-time high of gold. It's just pushing higher and higher. Silver looks good. US 100 hasn't really moved. US 30 made a new all-time high. US 500 made a new all-time high but failed. Australia 200 is coming back from all-time highs. U50, the dollar has had so many straight green days, it's kind of crazy. So let's go ahead and look. Bitcoin dominance continues up. Doge, ETH dominance, Solana. I'm just looking. Total is back above the 200 MA. Total 3 is flirting with it. Others is below it. So I think it's okay to stay short on alts. Yeah, Bitcoin's something happened 3 hours ago where prices surged, but just noting on Bitcoin on the chart, it's pulled back only a little bit. That said, I want to see what's going on in the chart. And ETH is weak. ETH is stuck in this range and had a little poke up, but yeah, interesting. So if I had logged in 3 hours ago, I would be way up on the day. But for whatever reason, prices surged in the past couple hours. So I have taken a loss on Litecoin, which I'm going to log as a loss. Okay, let's log that. Okay, future statement, negative 508. Okay. Okay, it's a loss. And now I'm going to go through the alts and then we're going to go under the hood. We're going to see, okay, does it make sense to cut some of these alts early to change my positioning? CVX. Okay. Pepe. Walkie. Sheep. I'm looking to see if there's any fresh alt signals, short signals. Although I don't, it's hard to think that I want to take any. Maybe. Cosmo would be giving a long, but I don't take these on alts, only on really strong assets. Ohm's just pushing higher and higher. Ohm's been a great investment. Look at this just orderly increase in price here. Up 50% in 6 weeks. No, up 80% actually. Wow, I mean, what a nice climb. So strong it never took a low, a monthly low, right? World, again, Doge. Okay. 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 It's interesting. The market had a red day, but is starting off like pretty green in the first 3 hours. But I'm not seeing anything that's actually giving a signal, which is nice. So I don't, not really in the appetite to add. Okay. What about this? Yeah, Bitcoin, Celestia. People are gonna start aping soon. It's possible. KuCoin. Wow, it's possible we're gonna see that too. Okay, so I gotta go on. We gotta go under the hood now and check and see. Do we want to stay with these? What happened there? Was that a bunch of leverage coming in? Huh. Is that my best performing one? Is the one that I re-entered? Looks like positions open. Okay. Yeah. And AXL. Okay. We're gonna check Bitcoin news. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Okay. Nothing interesting really. Okay. Bitcoin wallet from 2011 moved $10 million. So now we're gonna go under the hood. I'm gonna look at uh, position of leverage and spot, which maybe doesn't matter, but we're still saying the market is pretty hot and funding is really high. So we can continue, but I really want to try to buy pullbacks in situations where funding is really high. Funding is, yeah, it hit the highest point since the July top, and then before that, the June top. So, Okay. Okay. Funding's hot on Bitcoin. We'll come back to it. I want to look at the three majors. ETH. And BNB. So let's start with Bitcoin. What I'm noting is funding is quite high, and we did have a little bit of pullback on open interest, but it's still at 20.7 billion, which from the lows is up from 17 billion, which is, I mean, the funding is naturally going to increase with institutional adoption, but we also see CVD has been actually started to make a downward slope, and it was recovering, but on spot. But it looks, at least this move up is more, appears to be more leverage than anything. And it can for sure continue, but it doesn't feel high probability to me. So I don't feel FOMO here, and I'm okay waiting for a better trading opportunity. I am expecting higher prices, but I still want to try to trade a pullback first. Now, when we look at ETH looks a little bit stronger than Bitcoin, but however is the same problem where open interest is up from 8 billion to over 9 billion on this little move up. And ETH is relatively weak where it hasn't been able to advance price. So that makes me like the idea of staying with the idea of shorting ETH, although on the chart there's nowhere to do it right now. I do have the idea of this short up here, but I don't have a limit set for that because I have so many alt shorts just as a risk control. I don't want to, I don't need more short exposure. I'll consider that if we come up there. And then if we look at BNB, so I'll explain this to you, Brian. So this, I'll make this more visible. So the funding rate is, so when you're trading a leveraged position, you're not trading the actual underlying asset. Like if I'm trading a leveraged Bitcoin, I'm not trading
the actual price
right.
change.
You're
Like
trading a
projection.
derivative.
Yeah.
So they need a way to tie the derivative to the actual price.
Yep.
And the way they do that is if you have a leverage position, you have to pay a fee to another trader depending on how much demand there is.
Mm-hmm.
So if everybody wants to be long, there's a penalty where every 8 hours you pay the short traders a percentage. And that can at times be extreme where the fee APY could be like 100% plus a year.
Okay.
I've seen as high as thousands of percent. So like imagine every 8 hours your account loses like 2% just in fees. It's insane, right?
Yeah.
So if it's green, if it's green, it means there's more longs than shorts.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So if there's more longs than shorts, there's always going to be more longs than shorts just because people tend to be long and people tend to buy. However, when there's an extreme amount of longs, I would prefer to be out of the market. And when it turns red, is when there's net shorts, and you can see that at the bottom of the market here, there was net shorts, and also if we go back like in August, this is the opportunity of this is what a market bottom looks like, where there's like a lot of short demand right here, right? Where a market turned everybody's short because all the longs got stopped out. Now this line is the volume of people buying Bitcoin at the market,
Okay.
buying versus selling, and you can see like I'm gonna change the time frame. I'm gonna put it to 4 hours. So you can see during the bull run earlier in the year and end of last year, how this line was sloping up,
Mhm.
and that was spot people actually buying actual Bitcoin.
Mhm.
But then since that happened, it's been a steady decline where
Yeah.
there's been less buying pressure.
Yep.
Now the line above it is futures traders.
Okay.
So for futures traders, this move up, people started to actually go short in here or possibly reduce buying pressure. So I'm looking at the idea that whatever spot's doing is gonna continue or is gonna work because the spot buyers don't have to do anything about their positions if they don't want to, right? The leveraged positions do because the fees are going to eat up their money and they can get liquidated. So they have to exit. So then the top thing I'm looking at is this is open interest, which is the total amount of leverage, longs and shorts. So we can see, for instance, when the market bottomed, there was like $15 billion of longs and shorts. And then when the market was at all-time highs, over here there was like 20 billion, 20 billion. So now we're seeing right up here, the market's at all-time highs in leverage. There's $21 billion in longs and shorts. And from the way the market's positioned, we know they're mostly long. And we can also see this move up. There was an increase in buy pressure on uh, leverage and a decrease in buy pressure
Yeah.
from people actually buying Bitcoin.
That's
So I
fine,
could
right? So
predict,
that is,
right. So I could predict that this move would reverse.
Mhm.
It might continue, but the probability is just safer to not be long. So consequently, I always want a long Bitcoin, but I'm gonna try to buy it lower, right? The idea is if this happens, there will be a liquidation event where people are forced, several billion dollars in longs are wiped
From
out.
the leverage, yep.
Yeah, and then it dips into one of these areas
Yep.
and then
And
can move
then
to
you can
new
buy it
all-time highs. So that's what I've been doing. And the trade that I missed was,
down there.
yeah, I was right in here. I had this area marked and I had it like right here and it just missed me by like, $50 and then it's been straight up. But that's fine. I also got I was able to buy like this dip right here and I was able to buy right in here and right in this dip. So sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't. So I start by going through the three majors and then I go through the alts that I'm trading. ETH is the same problem from 7 billion to 9 billion and lots of positive funding. And it's also relatively weak. And I have an indicator that can show me, but I can just see that the others have been making new highs and ETH is not. And then I could look at also BNB, which is a little more positive because it's been had negative funding and also people buying spot. However, something I suspect is going on here that I got to be careful with is for BNB, you can stake it and earn a yield. So I think some people are buying BNB, staking it for a yield, and then shorting an equal amount of BNB. And so what that does is you have no market exposure to BNB
Mm-hmm.
because if it price goes up, you have your shorts and your longs. If price goes, but no matter what happens, you get your yield.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why it looks different, where there's a lot more sell pressure on leverage and buy pressure on spot. So this I think is misleading. It looks stronger than it is. So now I'm gonna go and look at my alts. But just since I came in the last 3 hours, there was a big pump that's retracing. So I'm in 6 different alt shorts. I'm in one, two, three. And you see this one had a huge move up. I was up like $500, came back to break even. A couple of them didn't move. So now I'm probably going to do nothing. The most I'll do is advance my stops. And I'm gonna look at these 6 and see if any of them I should close. And then I'm not gonna change my limits on Bitcoin, ETH, or BNB. And then I can be done after that. So it's pretty tedious, but
Yeah.
doesn't need to take that long. So now we have AXL. ENA. People. Oops. People funding rate. Saga. Um, okay. Just in the 30 minutes since I've logged on, the account's basically back to where it was yesterday. I'm up like $300. Not that it really matters, but this is why I try to make my sessions short because I don't want to see it swinging thousands of dollars. I mean, I do, but it's not healthy. Okay, so now we're gonna go through them one by one. AXL, I'm gonna close it. Funding went negative, spot's been increasing, and a lot of the open interest is already drained out, so um oh, it's too bad. I like it and I like how it's acting, but actually it's been in a really tight range. So I need to trade, right? Not how I want, but just probabilities. So just from what I explained, like if funding goes negative and I'm short, I should get out. Also, I'm seeing spot come in, so I don't really want to close, but I'm going to, just out of probabilities, right? And I have plenty of other shorts. So, this one, um, I'm bagging a $261 profit, which isn't super exciting, but I'm grateful for any and all wins. And that's enough that I could log it as a win. Okay, so AXL, I'm out of. It hasn't had a strong move anyway, so AXL is done. Now, Ethana also, same problem, funding went negative. It's also going straight up. It's too bad because it was looking good. But it looks like I can keep people and I can keep Saga. And I can potentially keep Book of Memes. Um, yeah. ENA funding went very negative. Don't really know what's going on with that. What's the deal with it? ENA news. Okay. I hate selling, but I feel like I need to. So one thing that's interesting is when there's news stories about a token, those stories are commissioned by holders. These publications aren't just writing about a token for no reason. So people are paying for press about ENA. At the same time, though, with funding negative, if I'm just trying to be on my shit, I need to close it. So I'm just going to close that and be grateful for making $64 on it. So I'm not going to log it as a win because it's kind of too small. I mean, technically anything, I'm actually just going to log everything that was positive. If I'm like really counting as anything positive as a win, anything negative as a loss, what does that mean? It means since I've been tracking, I have 20 wins and 10 losses, which is pretty good. And the wins are actually smaller than the losses, but that's mostly because of this what's happened with Bitcoin. That would be different if I had had a significant Bitcoin winner, but I have not since I've been tracking. So ENA, I'm out of ENA. Um, if we look at people, I feel like I can stay in people. Funding's We had a big increase in open interest. Funding's positive. Saga is maybe not as good, but still looks okay. Book of Meme, that was actually spot buying. And there's predicted negative funding here. So I will maybe, yeah, look at the spot buying coming in. And funding predicted lower negative. So I think I'm also going to close Book of Meme. And these happen to be the ones that, yeah, maybe I'm in a risk off mood, but there wasn't very much increase in open interest on that actually. So I'm also going to close out Book of Meme. Okay, so I closed 3 of my shorts so far based off funding rate. So $97 on that. $97. Okay. So, and then there were 3. People's doable. Saga's doable. I like Arkham. I'm gonna stay with it. Okay. So, um, I don't really like people, so let me take a close look at what happened here. It was I'm seeing a lot of spot buying here. So I think I might close this one too, honestly. Also, it's like so strong on the day, and it's looking like it's not taking much to change the price. It's unfortunate because it was one that was going really well, but again, if I'm just trying to be very go off like likelihood, I don't think it looks very good. I think I'm gonna close people also. And then I'm just gonna have Saga and Arkham. Okay, so $83 on that one. Such small wins, but the market is kind of telling me to get out of these alt shorts. Okay, so I just have Saga and Arkham now. And I'm out of these other ones. I didn't get new signals. So then we have Bitcoin. Something I could do for Bitcoin, which I could have done all the way down here, is just do the MTP buy, market timing pro buy, which is still valid. I may be okay with doing it. But I think I'm not going to. Uh, Where is weak? So I guess that's gonna be it. My BNB long is not that far from hitting. I think that's something that could happen. And that would be a way for me to get long exposure. Then, I'm okay putting the ETH short back on now that I closed a bunch of my shorts. People was borderline, but I mean, a sharp move like that, it's dangerous. Again, I'm not here to make the most money possible. I'm here to make some money, minimize the downside as well. Okay. Go to ETH. We're gonna limit 2874. The stop loss at 3017. It's like over 100. So I'm gonna do like 5. The TP all the way down here at 2150. 12? No, I could do more, right? Let's stop this. Let's redo that, but with 20x leverage. Okay. Perfect. 2874. 3017. 2150. 5. Okay. Like we could get there. And I'm gonna look at Litecoin. That one looks a little bit more toppy. No. What's going on? I just don't even understand. Can you stake Litecoin? Okay. And then lastly, do I have a reason to advance my stop on all of these? Maybe on Arkham. Maybe 1.95 for Arkham. Then Saga. Kind of like leaving Saga where it is. So for Arkham. $1.95. Okay, taking a lot of risk. And that's gonna be it. Bitcoin Fear and Greed is at 73 out of 100. I'd just rather buy when there's fear, sell when there's greed. So that's what we're gonna try to do. Okay. And that's it, we're done.